I had, my name's Sarah, hi. I had UAE Uterine Artery Embolisation last week on Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. So I'm almost a week post procedure. And I thought I would like to put something on YouTube just to do with managing the procedure, managing the pain after, and that whole sort of critical first week where you are just getting back to your normal state. This is just my experience. I'm not a medical professional and I'm not giving advice. But I know that when I was going in to have the procedure, I did a bit of research and I did find a couple of videos of people talking about their experience and how they were getting on. So I plan on updating you all in a few months' time, but also in 6 months' time. There's a bit of a marker there for me to remember to update you guys after I've had a checkup phone call with the consultant who referred me for this procedure. So I had this procedure because I had, well, I suppose they're in the process of dying, fibroids. They were into the ones that were in the walls, not the ones that were on stalks. And they made my uterus bulky. They caused painful periods. They caused pain between periods. And they also caused a lot of bleeding. I've been managing the symptoms for about 15 years with a Mirena coil. So I think I've had 3 of them, 3 Mirena coils. It has helped to manage the symptoms quite well, but not taken away the bulky uterus or the the pressure on my bladder. They were all mainly in the back wall of the uterus, so there was also a lot of pressure on the bowels, and I mean it had gotten to the point where I was starting to go to the toilet, have to go to the toilet every 20 minutes. Lots of lower back pain, and it has started to really impact on my life. I'm a fitness instructor. I teach classes. I have to rush to the toilet between classes. Long journeys are pretty much impossible. So it's made my world very small. Anyway, so that's me pre-op, and that's why I've had the surgery. I did wait for 2 years to get this surgery because I was offered, because I'm in the UK and I'm on the NHS, and I know they've got a huge backlog since COVID. And I was initially offered a hysterectomy at the age of 35. I was offered a hysterectomy 2 years ago as well, and I wasn't offered this procedure, but I did ask, is there something else? And then they said they would refer me to see if I was a good candidate for this procedure, which apparently I was, because the arteries going into the fibroids were all quite good. I don't know what that means. So yeah, the actual experience, I mean, I was talked through the whole process and told that I would be given morphine, that I would be in control of the morphine, that I would have is it called a PCA, patient controlled analgesia, which is the morphine, which was all managed very well. They gave me a cannula in the arm, and that was the delivery method of the pain relief during the procedure and after the procedure. I was taken down to the radiologist, whatever, the place where they did it. And the person who did it went through the consent form with me and explained the risks and got me to sign the bits of paper and everything. I was awake during the procedure. I was given nothing other than the morphine. So I was given nothing to sedate me, and I was given nothing to calm me down. The whole procedure, all in all, I think took about an hour. It was a harrowing experience. It was really painful, and unpleasant, and they were injecting dye into me, and when they inject the dye in, I think they inject the dye and then they put radiation so they can see where they are injecting the particles into, because that's what the embolization is. They inject particles into your arteries to stop the blood from going to the fibroids so that they will then die, which is the process I'm going through at the moment. And so the injecting of the dye is very hot, and you can feel it going into your groin. It feels like you've wet yourself. And I think that kind of messed up my connection to my bladder a little bit, because I couldn't wee afterwards. So I have to say the people were amazing. They were all very professional and very on the ball. I feel very privileged to have been able to have this procedure on the NHS. The consultant who referred me came to see me before and came to see me after as well. She was very hopeful that this would help me. And there was a lovely woman who spent most of the procedure talking to me, trying to distract me, which was great. However, once the procedure was over, so she distracted me to the point where I kind of wasn't really paying attention to the pain and the PCA. So I wasn't managing the pain effectively throughout the process. I probably should have paid more attention to that. Once the procedure was over, it felt like I desperately needed a wee, like my bladder was full and I desperately needed a wee. And it was like to the point where it was so urgent and so painful, but I wasn't able to. So they moved me. This is where I think things could have been done better. And I did feed this back to the doctor who came to see me the next day in the hospital to check on me to see if I was okay. I was moved from the procedural bed, which has had the radiation sort of thing going over me, back onto my hospital bed, and taken into a recovery area and given a bedpan and told that I could not, they had to take because I went in the groin, in the femoral artery in the groin, and they had to take that out and hold down for 10 minutes to make sure that the bleeding would stop. That was one of the risks, that the bleeding wouldn't stop and they would have to put a stitch in the artery, which would mean general anaesthetic and, emergency sort of procedures. They did have bloods on hand as well. So anyway, there I am lying there in extreme pain, but thinking that I needed the loo, and I don't think I did need the loo. I think it was just the pressure on my bladder. So I kind of had a freak out at this point. And the lady who'd been next to me the whole time for the procedure, distracting me, was suddenly gone. She didn't even say goodbye, or she just was not there anymore. And that was really that was a really difficult part for me, because I hadn't been managing the pain effectively. The distraction was gone and suddenly I was in a lot of pain. And so I think it took me about 3 hours to get the pain under control after that. So I agreed I wasn't going to try and wee, despite everyone trying to help me by flushing toilets and giving me a bedpan, giving me privacy and everything. But there was a lot of pressure to wee, and I couldn't, especially not lying in bed. The weirdest feeling ever, having to try and wee while you're in bed. But as I say, I think the brain connection with the bladder was a bit disturbed as well by the fact that every time they injected the dye, it felt like I was weeing. Anyway, they eventually got the porters to take me back to my ward while I was in this extreme pain still. And I lay there for about 90 minutes moaning, literally just moaning, because I was in so much pain. I did manage to get the pain under control eventually and figured out, once I had a bit of quiet time, use the PCA. I think it took like 4, because you had 5 minutes between each press. So it took about 4 presses, about 20 minutes for the pain to actually get under control. And then I was kind of in and out of sleep and stuff. They eventually had to put a catheter in to empty my bladder because I just couldn't wee. It took me until about 3 o'clock in the morning when I woke up and there was a lady in the bed next to me going through the moaning. She had had a different procedure and she was having a different experience, but we spoke through the curtain and I said, "Do you want me to press the button?" and kind of listened while she was taken care of and offered morphine and stuff, and then realised I was hungry. That's how I knew I'd kind of gotten through the worst of it, was I was hungry. So there I was at 3 o'clock in the morning in the hospital bed eating a couple of packets of crisps. They tasted so good, I was so hungry. Yeah, so I mean, I have to say that the hospital staff were amazing. They did everything I asked them to do. They were amazing. They helped me. I mean, before I actually went off to sleep, I got someone to come and help me change my clothes and take me to the toilet. So I brushed my teeth and take my meds and everything before I went to sleep, because I'm on HRT and I've got to take the progesterone at night because now I've had the Mirena coil removed to have this procedure. I came home the next day. I was picked up by a lovely friend who lives nearby. I live on the 2nd floor, so the drive and then walking up the stairs to get home, I felt a lot of pain, just abdominal pain and kind of shooting pains. I did just lie on the sofa for a while, and then I had a friend come and stay over who wouldn't let me lift a finger, insisted I stay in bed, and brought me food and was just really lovely, which was great. I mean, I did have everything set up so that because I live on my own. Yeah, I'm self-employed, I live on my own, so a bit of a precarious position to not be working for 2 weeks and to be on my own and recovering from surgery. But hey-ho, we soldier on in this life. And this friend of mine was here and looked after me. And I had another friend come after that who spent some time looking after me, and then another friend who came to visit. So I had over the weekend, because I got home on the Thursday friend came, Friday friend left in the evening, Saturday another friend came for the day, and then Sunday another friend came to visit. Today's Tuesday. Yesterday I went out to the supermarket in the car. I went and got some bits and bobs, and I've just got back from a walk. So my first walk, I walked 3,500 steps. I normally walk about 5,000 a day, so I'm running kind of behind on my target for the year now. I know I'm not going to try and get it up because I'm not going to get it, but I'm just so pleased that I managed to get out. It's horrible outside. It's December and it's raining and it's cold and it's windy. But I'm very, very pleased with myself that I managed to get out, have a walk, get some fresh air, and get moving. I mean, I'm super fit, and I think that's really stood me in good stead. The fact that I'm in very good health and the fact that I am fit. I do have a bit of kind of see-through pinkish discharge, which I believe is normal. I think that's the fibroids starting to turn into goo and come out of my body. I've had a lot of lower back pain, which is why I thought it was important for me to start moving, because I know if I don't move, I get back pain. But I think because the fibroids are all in the sort of back part of the womb and they're all dying, I think that will also be adding to the lower back pain. I've still got a bit of abdominal pain, managing it by taking some, I take ibuprofen. I'm probably only taking pain meds twice a day now, so I'll take some now. I haven't taken any yet, just to recover from the walk, and then I'll probably take some before I go to bed as well to get me through the night, so I don't get woken up. It's an unpleasant thing to be woken up in the middle of the night. I'm sleeping a lot. I'm eating good food, and I've started doing some very gentle yoga as well. And all in all, I'm feeling quite good. So I don't think I've had any temperature or any flu-y symptoms. The only thing I have had is a bit of dizziness, a bit of nausea. It's all very low level, and then the pain pretty much low level, but every now and again kind of bumps up a little bit. It's quite bad now, so I'm going to do hot water bottle, I'm going to do Nurofen, I'm going to get some food in me, and I'll probably have a little lie down before I tackle the dishes in the kitchen, which I have to do today because I'm running out of forks. Yeah, so I mean, you know, time will tell whether this has been successful or not. I believe it's a very good procedure. If you want to get in touch and ask me any questions, if you're thinking about having it done, as I say, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just talking from my own personal experience. I am a fit and active 51-year-old woman. And I think being fit and active and in good shape has definitely stood me in good stead. And when I knew I was going to have this procedure, my one goal was to get as fit as I could before the procedure, because I knew I'd lose a bit of fitness in the recovery phase, but I also just wanted to get to the best shape I could be. So yeah, so far so good, still alive and well, still alive and kicking, and every day a little bit of improvement. So I will keep you updated.